So Rabbi Say, yesterday we learned about Ribbis Mugdames, Ribbis Mu'cheret. Ribbis Mugdames means I give someone a gift. I give him something in order to elicit a loan from him. I send him something and I give him a gift. And then a week later I say to him, can I get a loan from you? Called Ribbis Mugdames. Send him a nice bottle of mashke if he likes
This is not
mashke.
shochet?
Or it's not a din Torah. If it's a din Torah, yeshaycha, that's to make a person innocent, right? But here, you're giving him a gift because you want a favor from him. What type of favor? A loan. So you order him a platter of nuts, chocolate. You elicit that he'll be like, oh, now you come to him the next day, you say, hi, can I get a loan from you? Such a nice guy, of course I'm going to give you a loan. So this is called Ribbis Mugdames.
Okay.
This is also midrabanan. It's not min hatoira because it's not b'shas ma'aseh. They did not make the loan contingent on the interest.
Uh-huh.
Then there's Ribbis Mu'cheres. You took a loan, you paid up the loan. After you paid up the loan, you send him a gift to thank him for the loan. You gave him something afterwards for the loan.
This is a karat
Not min hatoira. It's not min hatoira. This is called Ribbit Mu'cheret. L'maisa, if you took the money, you didn't realize it's a problem. You took it. Once it's in your hand, once the malva take it, he doesn't have to give it back. Even Lotzis L'dei Shemayim, he also doesn't need to give it back. It's okay. We only l'chatchila tell you not to do it because of marit ayin, because this seems to be like ribbis. But not that it's actually ribbis.
What's the distance from when you finish the loan to give the present? Or a week later, 1 day later, 10 days?
You can't give it for the loan.
It doesn't matter when. If you say, I'm giving it because you give me
for the loan. It's nothing to do with the loan. It's nothing to do. If you give a gift, you give him a shleich manis, you give him a shleich manis. If you always give.
But the Torah doesn't believe in hakarat Torah. I don't know you. After that, thank you very much. Give you this.
It's a problem. That the issue comes by halva'ah, becomes a problem. That's the problem.
That's what I said. Like a week later, it says.
The Torah wants the people should give loans.
But not because you give me a loan.
You don't say nothing about the loan.
That's it.
But we did learn there is a shita which has a little bit of a loophole. There is an opinion in the Rishonim which says that if you give him something small and you don't say clearly, I'm doing this for the loan, for you to give me a loan or because you gave me a loan, it's okay. Because the whole idea, he says, is maris ayin. I'm giving him something small and not specifying it's for the loan. Why? It's not really clearly an issue. People don't necessarily see this as connection with the loan. I didn't connect it to the loan, and I'm giving something small. However, if you said clearly it's for the loan, then obviously you have a problem. There's maris ayin over here of ribbis. As well, even if you did not specify, but you didn't give him something small, you gave him a large gift. A large gift, that seems, what are you giving him a large gift for? That seems like obviously, even though it seems like it's like as if you clearly stated this is for the loan. Yeah, but you're getting back to the problem. So even this opinion will have a problem. This Yesh Maturin says two conditions: davar muat, and not saying it's for a loan. Not saying this Maturin. Now,
but 1 second, you have to have Adim that gave him after the loan.
No.
Somebody has to see.
No, there's not what to do.
Between
you don't own him anything anymore.
Not necessarily anyone saw, but the idea is that you remove it from ribbis. Like you don't specify it for the loan, and you give something small. That's not an issue. Who do we say that Allah is like? The Alter Rebbe says like this: for yourself personally, a person should be machmir and not rely on this opinion. You shouldn't give anything. However, if someone else is doing this, you don't have to. Yeah, this is yesh lahachmer la'atzmai. For a person for himself who knows about this halachas should be careful and not follow this opinion. But someone who is following that opinion, he has who to rely upon.
Right.
Okay.
My question is, the guy that loan, if he see that here they give me something after the loan, he will continue to give loan. Hakarat hatov. I'm saying thank you. Otherwise,
So that's why, because of this problem, Chazal said to make heter iska, to make a shut, because these people stopped wanting to give loans anymore. Because not only like what yours point, but even more, I don't get anything from it. Not only you don't get thank you, even if I gotta thank you, but I don't get anything. I gave you money, you don't give me anything back. For a few months, my money was sitting by you. Maybe for a year or two, my money was. I could have used this money to make investments, to do things. My money was by you, so people feel like they should get paid for it, and people stopped giving out loans. They don't want to give out loans and no private loans anymore. I'm not gaining anything for it, so why should I give you a loan? So Chazal came up with something, similar to the idea of a pruzbol by Shemitah year, where people were not lending out money before Shemitah year because Shemitah was going to cancel the loans.
right.
So it became that this mitzvah that was supposed to help Klal Yisrael was actually becoming an issue. People didn't want a loan before Shemitah. Came with a principle that the loans won't be canceled. Came out with a loophole. Similarly, we have over here by interest ribbis something called heter iska, that you make the malva becomes like a shutef in the business.
So there's a serious problem with that, though, that forget about the issue whether or not the heter iska is valid because of ha'arama or not. Let's say just for argument's sake that it's not an issue of ha'arama. But the problem is that people just use the heter iska indiscriminately. And really, even if you think that it's valid, that it's not ha'arama, but you can only use it if you're giving it to the person to use for business. Let's see if you're giving it to him to just like to buy a house or to buy a car. That you can't do that because there's no issue here of
business.
Yeah.
Here, a good question.
After Iska, if the guy loses the money, he doesn't have to pay. He becomes a partner with him, and whatever he does with the money. So if he makes money, he has to divide the money. But if he loses the money, he doesn't have to pay him.
So why would I give a loan to somebody that if he loses it, I don't have to pay? He doesn't have to pay me.
With the heter iska we're talking about.
Yeah, heter iska. Why should I give somebody a loan that if the guy loses the money?
How do you know he's going to lose? Maybe he's going to make. He'll make money.
No.
If he makes money, he gives you the extra money. But if he loses, he doesn't have to pay him.
So everybody will take money and gamble on somebody else's account. It doesn't make sense.
Second year, this parasha taka Ben Yishchai brings also all of reference to this, for giving loans for Ribbis.
So these are all good points. When we get up to the dinner heter iska, we have to get to the bottom of this shaila.
Heter iska is to be written down, or I can say 1, 2, not 4.
It's a 4.
It's a 4.
Okay, Sifches. Kol ze, we're on page Kuf Tzadik, Sifches. Kol ze behalva. Everything we're discussing here, when is there an issue of Ribbis, is when it's with a loan. Have a mekach or memker, if it's a sale, buying and selling, mutter, l'divrei hakel. All opinions agree it's mutter. What's mutter? Im noisim le'ischoyer ma'at yoisim ma'shachayvli. You give him merchandise more than what you're obligated. You're obligated to give him £100, and you give him £101. V'afilu miskavin b'shvil shehimtin loi. רק שאינו מפרש לכן אלא סנס לו בסתם, שאין הדבר ניכר הוא שבשביל שהמתן לו. Now, this makes sense. A business deal is a business deal. It's not a loan. It's not a loan. I'm making a sale, so you gave him extra. What was there? What was here the extra for the loan? There was no loan here. But here the Alter Rebbe adds in that even if when you gave him the buyer, the seller gave extra, a little extra, was because he wanted to like pay him, reimburse him for the fact that he waited for him.
Right. The time.
Till he got the merchandise.
Favor.
You're allowed to.
As long as you don't say clearly that I'm doing it for the wait. You give him stam, it's not clear that it was because he waited. It just seems like he made the deal, the sale cheaper for him. Maybe he wants him to come back to him another time. So he makes the sale, he gives him here a little extra. It's a nice guy, a good relationship. So he'll come back again. It's a business practice. So if he doesn't tell him clearly, I'm doing it because you had to wait for me to give back the merchandise, like give back, quote unquote, the loan. Give back the merchandise.
I got a question. The guy.
V'chol she'eini nikah shurivis, 1 second. Loi gaz the mekach memker. When it comes to mekach memker, anytime there's not recognizable, there's any ribbis going on, it's not an issue because your starting point's different, but you're not starting like often halva. Once you go into halva, we're much stricter. Even the derabbanans are all stricter. We have things deraisa, so we have a lot of things that are asim derabbanan. But if you're coming to mekach memker, it's not a case of a halva situation. So we're more lenient as long as it's not recognizable that you did this for waiting, for him waiting for his merchandise. It's okay. If you gave him a lot of extra merchandise because he had to wait, he gave the money, and instead you didn't have the merchandise ready. You told him, kept him pushing him off. Next day, tomorrow, the next day, finally gave it to him. So the guy's annoyed. He didn't get his merchandise right away. You want it, so you pay him extra. You give him extra merchandise. You gave him extra. The way was that you can keep the merchandise by you. You don't have to pay back. You got money from him. The buyer gave you money. He gave you money, and you didn't pay back the loan. Quote unquote a loan. I held the money onto the money. I didn't give it back, and I made him wait. So now you're paying for the wait time. Like it's like as if the buyer is the malva. I'm sorry. Yeah, the buyer is like the malva, and the seller is like the loiva. He got his money. The borrower got money from the seller, who's the borrower, got money from the buyer. He didn't give him back right away.
So this 1 week,
it's like a loan. Gave him back later. So if you give him a lot back, then even though it's mekach memker,
but it looked like that.
It's a matter of issue. But in a case where it wasn't a lot, so we don't have any issue with it. In the previous Sif and Zayin, we saw that even though there was a shita that's makel when it's not clear, davar muat, and you're not explicit, that's for Ribbis. But he said that he should be machmer, not follow that shita. When it comes to mekach memker, even the shita that's machmer says that if it's not, you don't say it clearly,
then
it's not a problem. But if it's such a large amount that it's clear that you did this because of the situation, which is by it could come up. It could come up. You cannot realize this.
Many times.
Right, many times. You not realize this. So again, if it's a little bit, it's not a big deal. But if it's a lot,
it showed that, yeah. Even if you don't say it, but it showed that.
We get every Sunday morning for breakfast. Get from this guy, order bacon guy. They give us for every course, eggs and bagels and drinks and everything. But he sent us every week he send me back like this with cookies for free.
He wants to have this host
Can be two things. Or he want me to continue to order from him, or he schut, like he's saying. I don't know.
want to look at it for the host, I suppose. He take that night for the wife from him.
What
So Lamaisa, it's a good question. It's a good point. This is actually
to ask
very,
him?
very similar. This is like similar to this case.
But you didn't borrow anything from him. He didn't borrow anything from you.
We pay him.
But he's saying
every
like
month.
this case that even in a case there is this discussion that
It's
of Mecca
a
Chamemkar.
davar muat.
But the answer is that by Mecca Chamemkar, it's a davar muat, it's not a problem.
Right. It's a
So
davar.
it's talking about Mikachel Minkar. That's talking about paying for it. Paying for the Mikachel Minkar, not just doing it. So, like
I would tell you like this.
He's just giving him a bonus. So you might say.
We don't pay him.
Right. The truth is like
the
this.
month.
The truth is, it's two stages. This thing he gave you right away. It wasn't pshat that you waited for him to give you and he gave you
Yeah,
extra.
exactly.
There was no wait at all. Right.
Yeah.
There's no wait at all. So there was never anything to see something similar to a loan here.
Yeah.
It was 100% sale. And it wasn't the pshat that you had to wait till you got it, and therefore he wants to compensate you for your wait time and throw you a box of cookies. Now, furthermore, even if the Alter Rebbe just explained, even in a case where he did throw it in because there was a wait time, let's say he usually doesn't give you the box of cookies, but that Sunday usually it's supposed to be here 10 o'clock, whenever the shear starts, it's supposed to arrive at 10 o'clock. Lamaisa, the shear started. He forgot. It wasn't ready, or he was very busy with customers. So he sent at 10:30. But he knows, you're upset. We have a shiur, and this is at the end of the shiur. It didn't come in the beginning, 10:30. So he wants to compensate for the wait time. So he throws in something extra. Oh, okay, people feel, okay, we got something out of it. So that's weird. That's a little tricky because he paid for the wait time, but obviously there's no ism in Torah at all because this was not b'chalal a ribbis. This wasn't made up as any deal that you have to give me or anything like that. He on his own gave. So the halacha is if it's a little bit, it's not nicker. Something a lot, that it's nicker, that it's because of the wait time.
We don't have this problem because parents go to pick it up quarter to 10 every time.
Yeah, so this situation, there's no problem. You can enjoy the cookies.
Believe me, they enjoy
Either way, once you take it already, it's not a problem. Once you take ribbis, in even these cases, once you took it, it's not a problem. It's just like a not specific. Once you took it, it's not an issue anyways. But yeah, it's a good, interesting scenarios, and we don't sometimes chapsich, we see over here, it could be common. This could happen, situations where there was wait time and you wanted to pay something extra. Something to bear in mind that if it's a large compensation, that should be avoided because of maris ayin of this. That's it. Siftas. Kol zeh Ribbis mukdemes umucheres. This is all when we're talking about before the loan, when we're saying there's an ism midrabanan and there are certain heterim in different situations, is when you gave the money mukdemes before the loan, gave him some money or gift to encourage him to loan you, or after you paid up the loan, you sent him a gift afterwards. However, any time you are still owe the malva money, all agree that you can't do anything for it. While during the time period while the loan is in effect, he lent you the $1,000. Now, during that period of the 30 days that he lent you $1,000, you are not allowed to give him or do anything for the loan. That's not mukdemes or murcheres. That's b'shas ma'isa. Aber kol zman shaloi v'chayiv l'malva l'divihakel also litin loy elasis le shum toiva b'shil hava afilu b'stam afilu davar moed. Even if it's a small item, you can't go give him. And even if you didn't say it's for the loan, even a small gift, you can't do that for him while the loan is effect. After the loan has been paid back, then there's materium in certain situations. But while the loan is still in effect, you haven't paid it, it's a problem. Mitzvah. Even if you're going to do for him a mitzvah, you're going to help him do a mitzvah. The son of the malva, the lender, needs to learn Torah. So I'll teach him Torah shebiksav. And the halacha is that Moshe Rabbeinu says that to the Klal Yisrael, just like I taught you, you didn't pay me. I wasn't paid for teaching you. Torah shebiksav. When you teach Torah, you also should teach it for free. Not taking stock. So, even though now, Illuminate ben amal v'Torah shebiksav afil Torah shebapeh. Kol zman sha'av hoyeperei schar l'melamed acher. If the father if he's going to teach them without payment, you have an issue over here. If you're going to teach, the loiva is going to teach the malva son without payment, we have a problem. In all situations, normally the father would have paid someone else. Let's say it was someone else. He had to hire someone. He would have paid someone. Right? If he had to pay for a malamed, even though he's not chayiv, let's say, Torah Shabbat Peh, you're not chayiv to pay for a malamed.
The malamed not supposed to take money.
So, but since the minig is that everyone does hire malamdim to teach the children, and this malva would also have done so, he would have hired on his own, right? And now you're coming and teaching for free. The Levi says, "Here, I know how to teach. I could teach the Mishnayos. I'll teach you some for you.
But he knows
I'll teach you for free."
Because
now, since usually he would have paid, even if he wasn't chayiv to teach his son for payment. But he would have paid, so you saved him the payment. You gave him something. You gave him hana, he taught his son for free. Furthermore, even if you were going to go and put in a good word to him, to the city, to the mayor for him, because he did he gave you halva. Or b'shvil archavas hazman, also. Not only for the hava, but also, let's say, after he gave you the loan, but you needed more time. You couldn't pay up after 30 days came. You want another 30 days. So you in order to have the extra 30 days, I'm not going to give you money. That's ribbis. You're doing me a taiva. You'll do for me a taiva another 30 days. I'll talk to this guy. Should do a good deal for you. I'll talk to the mayor for you. I'll do something for you. Dibur taiv. Can't do that. And he actually gives an example of dibur taiv different than the way I said it. Different dibur taiv. Okay, lahakle shalom. If you went out to go greet him, especially to greet him, in general, you did not go out to greet him. Now you're going and making out of your way to go greet this person. And definitely, if you're standing in front and praising him, which is called chamfening in Yiddish, you say chanifa. Or to thank him and to treat it like he did you a favor, or or to bench him, give him a bracha.
Does he give him a loan?
Al halvo, or al sheikh or not that he gave you a loan, but he gave you more time. Shenemar neshech kol davar asher yishach. We learn now the pasuk Nesha kol davar yishishach. Anything that has any shaykhs to Ribbis. Hafilu dibur aser. V'im tzarech levakish shemena shiyaveyu or shiyarchiv loi zman. If he needs to ask him in order to, wants him to lend him, or to give him more time. You should ask him, plead with him to give you. Please, can I have a loan for you? Please, can I have more time? It's not by praising how great you are and unbelievable you are. You gave me a loan. You're such an unbelievable person. Some other type of chanifa is problematic. It's very strict. Chazal are very strict with the Ribbis. You hope that the Malva knows these halachas, so he won't be upset with you. He knows these halachas, that you're not going to be, he might think, I'm doing you such a toiva, he expects something from you. Not giving, I know we don't do Ribbis, that everyone knows. That's dvarim shat stukim baidim bay. It's clearly Teresh, but maybe he doesn't wear the prate din him. He might be a little annoyed. No basic respect. Like you're saying, no akaras hatoiv.
So if he just says to him, I'm not saying thank you to you because it's usher. So that itself is doing him a favor. He's teaching him halakha.
But he wouldn't have paid for it. So it's not. I hear you.
It's a little bit one of the move.
Yeah. Weiter, Sifyud. V'chein hamalve muzer al ribis dvarim.
This is something like the Rebbe.
The malve is cautioned on this also. I'm asking for ribis, even a ribis of dibur. The malva, not only the loiva is not supposed to do this, the malva shouldn't be asking for such type of favors and things. The malva shouldn't tell the loiva, while he has a loan by him,
Let me know.
let me know if when that person arrives from this and this place. Do me this favor. What's his tircha? He just going to notify him, let him know a statement. Only if he wouldn't have done that till now. He wouldn't have done such a.
You ask him to let you know.
Not something normal that the Malva would ask him that. If it's normal, the Malva would tell him, please, can you let me know? It's a normal thing. Okay, it's nothing to do with the loan. But if he's asking something because he feels that, I loaned you money, so you owe me something, like, do this for me, do this favor for me, that's the problem. Top of the page.
Even though you gave a loan somebody else.
Now the Malva is being soymich on the fact that I lent him money. So I feel, he owes me something.
Ask him permission to do.
Top line. Ribbis. He feels comfortable. You owe me. In the pasuk it says Eved loiva l'ishmalva. An Eved, a loiva is an Eved to the ishmalva. When you take a loan for someone, you have a feeling of avdos to that person. So l'chayr seems to be that is the normal situation. The Torah is saying that yes, a loiva does have a feeling of avdos. Like, so what's the issue over here? There is some level of avdos which is felt by a loan. Explains the Alter Rebbe, no. That is limited to certain situations. That is only in a situation if the Malva and the Leiva have a disagreement about the loan, have an argument about it, like it's common, it's arguments. And the Malva says, let's go bring this up to the Bedin Hagadol. Let's go to Yerushalayim, to the Bedin Hagadol Sanhedrin. We'll ask them. I want to go to the Supreme Court. No, I'm not interested, the Leiva says. I want to just do it over here in the Bedin in the city. I want to do it over here. The Bedin Hagadol. In that situation, Eved Loiva li Ishmael. The pasuk is saying then the Malva he did
Here's the part.
he gave you a loan.
Right.
He gave you a loan. Now you're trying to today. Okay. Yeah, he wants to go there. You got to go there. Eved Loiva li Ishmael, but not in other areas, not in any other situations. Look, where are you going to have the dispute? What happens if the Loiva was the one who said, I want to go to the Beis Din Hagadol? No. If he says, I want to...
Beis Din Hagadol has to hear every convict and Harry who has a problem.
I didn't say they're going to accept the case. Maybe it was a loan that, was like Elon Musk loan, She should never ever leave Yishmalva. The Loiva can't schlep. If it was the opposite, the Loiva says, "I want to go to the Beis Din Hagadol." The Malva says, "Let's do it here." The Loiva can't schlep the Malva because Eved Loiva Lishmalva. He's an Eved to him. He has to follow this aspect, but it doesn't mean now that he could tell him tie my shoes and send me messages and do whatever you want just because I lent him money. Sifir Aleph. This is only when you're doing something, some dibur, something special that was not common to do. You wouldn't do it. Anything that was normally done before is mutter. As long as when you're doing it now, you're not having in mind, I'm doing this because
No,
we're friends. We know each other, and this is normal, common practice for each other. I feel lamed is a malva atzmei bechina mutter.
not only his son.
Let's say the malva, he knew how to learn. He was a Talmud Chacham. He knew how to learn, and the loiva, and the loiva
will say to the mother,
tell malva, let's learn. I'll teach you the daf, teach you the Rambam. Give you a shear. So if it was normal between the two of them for the loiva to teach them out
alone,
then it's okay.
Continue.
As long as he's not saying I'm doing this because of the loan, he's normal. Even though it's not even the son, it's the actual malva himself. It's okay. Mutter lahan hoisoi, v'chol ma shehoy rogel lahan hoisoi. Even if your hana that you're giving, the loiv is giving the malva, and it's something that zenena, the malva is going to get hana, and the loiv is going to actually lose out something. It's not just he's giving him something; he's going to lose something. Right? For example, when you taught someone Torah, the loiv taught the malva Torah.
He lost time.
The Leiva didn't necessarily lose anything out.
No, the Malva lost time teaching him.
No. The Leiva is teaching the Malva Torah.
Yeah.
Lav Dafke, he lost anything. It was at night, he wasn't working. Necessarily, he lost something.
Right.
Tangible, that he lost a tangible thing. So, goes further out to them, even in a case where it would not only would the Malva be being Nene, but Zechos, the Leiva losing something. Something is being lost by the loiva. It's still mutter for the loiva to do for the malva if it's normal activity. He explains. Even if other people wouldn't do this, but you and him have this type of relationship, which even prior to the loan, you would have this type of relationship where you would do certain things for him. Even though it would be at a loss for you, you had a good relationship with him, you could continue doing it. Even maybe other people wouldn't go so far, You had a good relationship with him. You were rugged to do that.
It's not Ribbis.
Mutter lahan hoisei kegoin lahashiloi sus. After Yishmaskal kavaderech. You lend them a horse to go on a ride. The horse, gets worn out. It's not easy for the horse. Like using your car, it's you can't say it's only zanen of chaser. Oh, he is missing this wear and tear, and he's talking Maskal kavaderech. Vein tzarich loy mashar kelim. Famous kalkin. Obviously, kalim that you lend him, maybe you lend him something, an iron keli, which by using it won't be any chisaron. Avada, then you could do it to him. Shemutal hashirim ha'yiragal hashir koyim. Aval, however, also the hashile bayis ladabai. However, you can't give him a home to live in. You can't say here, you can stay in this home, my home, for a while. Lend it to him for a while. Even if the loiva is not going to lose out by lending it. He's not going to be losing out anything. He's not giving anything. He's not going to lose out. And the malva wouldn't be nana. You still shouldn't do that. We'll explain why. What's the example of this case? This house that the loiva owns, it's not a house that he
Usually
rents out to people. It's not an Airbnb. It's not meant for it. The setup is not meant for it. The malva anyways has his own home. He has a home. He can stay in his home. He doesn't have to pay anything. His own home free. But he has his own home, which he doesn't have to pay for. He doesn't have to pay for it. So in this case, both the loiva is not losing anything, because it's not like you're staying here in this extra place I have. I'm losing something like money because I could have rented it out. I don't rent this place out to anyone. It's not rentable. As well, the malva, he didn't really give the malva tangible hana. The malva has a place he could stay. You say, instead of staying there, stay by me. He didn't give him something tangible. So it was a case with zeloi chaser, with zeloi nene. After became, we say, it's a problem. Even if they were such good buddies, that before the loan, he would have done this anyways. He would have said, here, come stay, have extra house, stay in the house. Now that there was a loan, asurim acher hava. Why? This is against all the klalim we read until now. In such a situation, the odds are all stacked to the side, and there shouldn't be any problem with this. The leiv is not losing, the malva is not really gaining anything substantial. It was something he would have done anyways, regardless. However, mipnei shudavar shel farhesya v'nira lakoil ve'ein hakol yoidim shahayu oivim kein zelazem mikoidim v'nilam kedibiz. The house is different. It's not an item. You're not just giving him a horse. Everyone knows. Suddenly the loiva, the malva staying in the home of the loiva. This is like the talk of the town. This is something serious. A guy went into the home. People know about it. Yeah, Yanko gave la barrel into the. This is a problem. Not min hadin, it's ikar hadin, but mitzad the maris ayin of it. But this doesn't look good. This does not look good. This whole situation doesn't look kosher. It doesn't look kosher.
My daughter made a wedding, and all the family went. So she got house here and house here and house here. They let us live. We live in one house.
But you weren't a malva.
Just for good.
No problem. Mitzvah.
It's a big mitzvah.
V'chein l'shtamish ba'avdoi u'daber fehesi kidir bites. As well, the Gemara. This all comes from the Gemara. Alter Rebbe brings down that the loiva can't give the malva his eved. Eved is like a bias. People see that the Eved, this person, your living maid, is suddenly by the Malva's home. People know that person is always going and doing errands, and he works in that home. He's the Eved in that home. Suddenly he's going over to the Malva's home. This doesn't look good. It doesn't look kosher. But technically, it's not really an issue. It's something they would have done before. He would have at times sent to them. But now that the loan happened, you want to avoid this. To give him a kibbutz in the shul, give him an aliyah. He's the gabbai, he gives him an aliyah. Or he leads him a mitzvah's galila. He gives him galila here. Do galila. So v'chol kayotze be'elu. After we show you mechabde be'elu b'lei halva. Also, see, all of these cases, by the way, galila, I just want to point out to you,
it's the most important.
Galila was something that was Amol considered. Chazal say that Galila is a very chashuv thing to do Galila. So, being goyel of the Torah. So, today, they say, the child, they give a child to do Galila. But Amol, the look at Galila was different. So, especially, in Chabad, it's also a little different because the Magbiya is actually the goyel. But even in Chabad, people,
How is that in Chabad?
We picked it up, then we put it down in the goyim.
The Magbiya, he just ties all he does is ties the gartel, puts them.
Usually when I'm trying to see talk about Kulila, I mean the person who rolls it up and ties it. Because I read that thing and that always bothered me and taught me to realize that when the Gemara says that, it's talking about like the secret Torah of the Sparadim, that they're in these capsules. So it's really the Hagba and Lila is the same thing. You just open it up and then close it. There's no flying around with the ribbon.
It didn't exist, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Aruch HaShulchan, interestingly enough, points out, he discusses the whole idea of Glila. What the Gemara says, that the Goylol Keneged Kulam. Like the most. So he actually points out that based on Chazal and everything, the real way Glila should be done in our Sefer Torah is the way it's done, the way we do it in Chabad. And then he says, after he speaks it out from the Gemara and the Rishonim, he proves his point. The Aruch HaShulchan finishes off and says, "V'chein re'isi noegin bebeis haknesses shel hachsidim be'irenu." In our city, says, I see the Chassidish shuls. This is what they were doing in that area in Lithuania. So he was saying he thinks that's the way that really you should bring them. Interestingly, a side point. Rabbi Zevin, alav shalom, was the one who was the chief editor of the Encyclopedia Talmudit, and he had Shirashim in Chabad, and when he published the Svarim, and he published the Svarim that had the Hey, Ois Hey, and Hagba, he didn't mention anything about that the way Chabad does it, the minute Chabad. So later on, when Rabbi Zevin sent, the Sefer to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe wrote him a letter, he wrote to him, I was surprised, didn't mention that the unique way Chabad does Hagbra, Lila, and he says that, look in the Aruch HaShulchan, you can't suspect he was a chassid. He brings this, he praises this thing. Anyways, so in Maisa here you see the Alter Rebbe is bringing down that he was Mecham with Aliyah or Galila, and everyone's thinking Galila, but that was the real Galila. It's probably meant the Hagva. So you're giving him something, even though you would have normally done it before, but this is public in shul, people are going to talk and say, hey, Beryl gave Shmerel Galila, gave him an Aliyah because of the loan. That's an issue.
Very good to be a garbage.
Not so easy taking a loan,
They already said they had to be a gabba.
Ellen Kane, you do a la koil shin oisa Kane, b'shvil shehalvo, and she'rogel achab de koil l'chein. Came a bayis im dora by the fnei ava b'china midas balabayis mutter gam achavra. So over here he actually says that if you would have given him aliyas before, Not a problem. As well, if he was living in the house before the loan. If the malva was already in the house, the loiva already allowed him to live in the house before the loan. Then he lent the money, and he continues living there. Not a problem.
Doesn't look like a.
It already happened before, so it happened before the loan.
It's not so simple as.
A lot of interesting detailed halachas. Do we have a minion here?
Anybody coming, Peretz?
I'm awaiting my perfection.
We have here. We
are
need
eight.
two. We need two.
Yes,
You
You're
guys
leaving
having
some.
a program, right? Who?
yeah.
I could come over if you have, I could come over.
We have not eight
We have
right
eight.
now. Shakaya.
Bring your
None.
son.
Thank you, Ross.
My son's not here. My son's not here. Just me.
Is there someone else who could come? We need one more. We need one person. Hey, Shakaya, Rabbi Davis, and Pinchas for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll have to somehow make a heta that Zoom can join in. I don't have a problem with the minion.
Oh, yeah.
If they're at, if they're
You can't answer all by Zoom.